In the happy land of Howloon, there once lived an evil empress named Ranky. She had all the gold in the land, all the gems in the land, and all the land in the land. But the one thing she didn't have was all the talent in the land. She hired voice teachers, acting coaches, music maestros, but inevitably any performance she gave sounded like tubercular cats humping. So Ranky hatched an evil plot. She would have her scientists construct a talent sucker. They slaved around the clock and finally presented her with a nasty-looking machine that had a huge inverse cone at one end to steal and store the talent of anyone at whom it was pointed. Ranky cackled with glee. But how to get all the talented people of the land in one place? Her astrological advisor, Lawrencenia the Loquacious, suggested she host an open mic extravaganza with a bucket of gold going to the winner. Ranky said, "That's a delicious idea, Lawrencenia, except for the bucket of gold. Have you never met performers? They work for nothing and love it. Oh, just get an open bar with watered-down booze. You won't be able to keep 'em away. On second thought, don't water the booze. We want them to think they sound great." And so it came to pass. On the night of the extravaganza, Lawrencenia stood in the wings. As each performer went on, she pointed the talent sucker and zapped 'em. And the musicians sucked. The comedians blew. The poets, well, no one could really tell the difference with the poets. Finally, Ranky took the stage to give the climactic royal performance. She held her fingers above the strings of her mandolin and nodded to Lawrencenia, who suddenly swung the cone out toward the crowd, spraying the performers with their own talent. Ranky shrieked, "No!" Lawrencenia shattered the talent sucker and cried, "People of Howloon, your empress brought you here to steal your talent. I have worked by her side, learning her ways. Tonight her evil reign shall come to an end. But her rankness is unrelenting. Is there a champion among you who will fight by my side?" An enormous eunuch named Codifus leaped on stage, crying, "I've waited for this for years. I even had my genitals removed by Piranha, so that I would be immune to Ranky's sinister sexcraft when the revolution came." Lawrencenia said, "Maybe a bit much, but okay." Ranky glowered and cried, "Fools! You think yourselves a match for my magnificence? I'll mangle thee." Lawrencenia and Codifus hurled themselves at the Empress, crushing her between them amid a burst of debris and a shower of sparks when the smoke cleared. What was left of Ranky was still standing. A ghoulish cackle came forth, and the Empress pulled the remaining strips of skin from her body. Beneath, a glistening steel skeleton with glowing ochre eyes looked out over the crowd. Ranky was a blowbot, part robot, part leaf blower. She grabbed Lawrencenia and Codifus, tossed them over her head, and then hit them with a burst of air that sent them hundreds of feet straight up. Ranky cackled, and 14 seconds later they came screaming back to Earth. With two billowing thuds, they reacquainted themselves with terra firma. When the dust cleared, a hand appeared from within Lawrencenia's impact crater. And slowly she pulled herself out and tossed the remains of her own flesh aside. Lawrencenia was a Terminator. An otter-shaped robot with huge diamond paws that crushed opponents, like otters crush mollusk shells, with sea rocks. Aren't they just too clever? Bless their little hearts. Ranky hissed, "Impressive, but how will you crush me if you can't touch me?" And she aimed her blower. But at just that moment, a hand shot out of Codefus's impact crater, toppling Ranky. Lawrencenia sprang and crushed the Blowbot's power core. As Ranky's eyes faded to black, she whispered, "But I never did my number." Codefus pulled himself out of his crater and tossed his own skin suit aside, for he was no ordinary eunuch. He was a dreaded cyborg, part cyborg, part iceberg, ready to kill Kate and Leo, but sadly not Leo's acting career. As Terminator and Cyborg hugged, Ranky's face split open, and out flew the most beautiful butterfly. It landed and plaintively whispered, "Don't hurt me." Lawrencenia said, "But why?" Ranky replied, "I got tired of all the other caterpillars making fun of me, because I never turned into a caterpillar. I figured if I became an evil empress, no one would make fun of me again. I didn't mean to hurt anyone." Lawrencenia said, "The caterpillars made fun of you for not turning into a caterpillar?" The butterfly nodded. "Oh, honey, you and I need to talk." Lawrencenia's breasts swiveled open, and out climbed a koala bear. "I'm going to take the ex-empress here for a walk, Codefus. Can you clean up things here?" He nodded. She paused. "And you're a real cyborg, Codefus?" From somewhere within him, a thin voice replied, No, I'm a teacup Yorkie." When he was alone on what was left of the stage, he turned to the crowd and realized that they were all passed out drunk, which is what one can only expect when musicians, comedians, and poets are given access to an open bar. His chest cavity popped open. Codefus, the teacup Yorkie, jumped down and contentedly licked his balls. The end.